Thank you to the student who sent me this question about a test average. Here's the question. To get a B in math, Alexandria must average 80 on 5 tests. Scores on the first 4 tests were 81, 76, 83, and 76. What's the lowest score that Alexandria can get on this 5th test, the last test, and still have that 80% average? So we're looking for the score for this 5th test. And what do we know about this grading? We know that to start with, if we added the 4 tests up, we could get 316. And we know that if an average was 80, now what we could imagine is an 80 for every test. So by the idea of what an average is, it means it's the same grade as if you got an 80 on every test. Now, if you got an 80 on every test, what would that add up to? We could use repeated addition or multiplication. So 5 times 80 is going to be the same as 80 plus 80 plus 80 plus 80 plus 80. So 400. We know when we add up all these scores, if the average is 80, that we're going to get 400. Again, it's as if we had an 80. You see that this test 1 is 1 above the average. And if we averaged out to 80, the 76 is 4 below, the 83 is 3 above, the 76 is 4 below. So we can already tell that we're going to need a score higher than 80, right? Because we are below by 8 and only ahead of 80 by 4. So we know we need at least the 80, and I'm going to guess that it's going to be 84. Here's how I'm guessing that. If we added up the overage, we have a 1 point and 3 more, so we have 4 points over an 80, and then for the 2 tests that are under 80, that adds to under by 8 points. We're behind by 8 points. So it looks like we're behind by 4 points. So what we need on this 5th test is the 80 plus, we've got to make up those 4 points that we're behind. So I'm thinking it looks like we need an 84. But let's make sure, because there's many ways to think through this problem. Let's make sure. We know that the total, when we add up all 5 tests, if they were 80 each, the total would be 400. And what do we have? We have 316 of those 400 points. So if I subtract the 316 from that total we need, let me maybe write that in, that the 400 is what we need, and the 316 is what we have so far. So what's our deficit? If we want a total of 400, our deficit is going to be 400 minus 316, or you guessed it, 84. Just what we guessed with that other method. So it looks like Alexandria needs at least 84 points on test number 5. She needs at least 84 on test number 5. Well, I hope this video has helped you understand this problem a little bit better. There's many different approaches we can use, and later on in a future unit we'll see this problem again from an algebra perspective. But here's a couple ways you could solve this problem even without any algebra.